Let's say it's the nervousness on stage. So that subject, nervousness on stage, has different manifestations. Each of these manifestations is a leg. One leg is the time when you got nervous in high school. The other leg is last week when you were giving a concert. Another leg is your mother, you were singing, your mother made you stop, or something like that, right? So we discover what all of these manifestations are, and we knock those legs off. As soon as you knock, let's say, 4 off, all the others, the whole table falls apart. So the basic thing you came for disappears just by handling 3 or 4 of its manifestations. Keep that story in mind, okay? Okay, is the release permanent? Yes, it is. I have found that the release is permanent. However, if somebody calls you up, by the way, the biggest problem with EFT is they call me a few days later and they say, "Oh, Mr. Magno, I feel much, much better." And I say, "Oh, that's great. You've been tapping." So, well, it was the vitamins that you recommended that did it. Wrong. Although vitamins do help.
Yeah.
So people, it works so fast, people don't believe it.
Right.
So, is the release permanent? Yes, it is. But if something comes back, that means it's a different aspect of the same thing. So we handle that. And in this course, we handle all that. So you reach a point where you don't have really, you don't have charge anymore. You're free. I mean, not completely free, but you still have other things going.
Yeah.
But
you're eliminating that negative charge that's interfering with your ability.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what are some of the issues that can be handled with EFT? Just about any issue. Can EFT be used for physical illness? Yes, but more difficult.
Yeah.
Takes longer because we have to discover. I personally believe that all cause of physical illness is 98% spiritual. I call illness spiritual vomit.
So that's in the head, right? Psychological, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's more than psychological. I don't even use that word anymore.
So, but when you say spiritual, what are you really saying? Like illness, what is it? Like
spiritual.
Yeah.
For example, look, my phobia. I had a very bad phobia. I knew that I was intelligent. I knew that I was very creative.
Right.
Which my whole life proves that I've done everything.
Yeah.
But I couldn't excel because in anything. Couldn't go forward because I had this phobia. I said, "What the hell good am I?" That's when I started investigating all this stuff. And I was trying to tell you about the physical illness, was it?
Yeah, well, when we said spiritual, I was just trying to understand what you mean by that.
Right, and this is the example that I'm giving you now. Doctors, you go in with a problem like this, all they do is they give you pills to calm down. Well, if you calm down, you're never going to find out why it is there. Right. So I didn't take any of that stuff. I didn't even go to doctors. I did check with a couple, but I knew right away they didn't understand it. And guess what I discovered during my transformation? And now I tell people what it is when they have a phobia, and they feel so much better because they think they're going crazy. Nothing like that. You could, but nothing like that at all, if you look at it properly. What a phobia, what I discovered during my transformation was that this phobia was what the mystics used to call the terror at the threshold. It's something that has to do with your spiritual life including past incarnations. And this is the last thing that happens when that person is on this path. Since then I changed the name of my work, I call it the Path of Hidden Knowledge. It was all because I discovered those things. So a phobia is not a personality disorder. It is not an illness. You don't need a psychologist unless it's an emergency. What it is a spiritual process. And that's when I realized that life is a spiritual school. Yeah, by all means get rich, by all means have lots of sex, by all means get married, go to vacation, do anything you want. It's all fun. But that's not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to know who you are, to know that there is a power that requires you to play with that power, and as if you were sculpting something, you sculpt what one would call the universal beingness out of it.
Okay, so is it like I'm not connected to it and I need to
Not
remove things so that I could be more connected?
Absolutely. That's why I used this in the beginning.
Right.
With all those lies in your consciousness, with all that spiritual vomit, you cannot focus. While I was going through the phobia thing, I meditated, I read many books and everything, but I was not, I had many incredible experiences.
Yeah.
But then when I came down to earth, I said, well, I still have this phobia. And during the transformation, I saw that. You can't put stuff in the cup if the cup is full of dirt, junk. You empty it first, then we put your tea in there.
Yeah.
These are all things that all students of this course should know. Although, in this course number 5, we don't go that much into the spiritual material, but I'm telling this to you now because it is a basis. Course 5 really works with the self-transformation on the physical plane. But then when you go into course 5A, which is in tune with self through spiritual science, then your mind will be blown, literally. If you understand it, because some people just can't deal with it. That's why we do this first.
Right.
So, on the physical illness, it will take a little longer, and it's a little bit more difficult, but yes, it can be used. Okay, then there is a declaration that says, I, Michael Canciglia, declare that I am taking this course on my own, blah, 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 blah. You're supposed to fill that out, which I think you already did there, and you're going to give that to me. This is a form of protection, because everybody now is into licenses and all of that. So we have Read at Home, Self-Transformation Course Program. You're going to read all that. Now on page number 9, you have 3 questions. I would like you to answer those 3 questions in writing.
I have page 8.
You have page 8? Okay, that's because I did put an update in there.
Okay,
Let
so
me see. You got page 8?
Very important questions.
Oh yeah, I skipped it, yeah. You got that update about the first secret of personal power?
Yeah, I think so.
It's before that. Maybe I didn't give you that update page.
Yeah.
No? No. I didn't give you?
Oh, here, 8. No,
Yeah.
this is,
That's the update.
okay.
Yeah. Put that right after page, put that after page 7. Right, that's right, that's page 8. Okay. Now, before we go on, I came up with this update, which is page 8, and this is pretty powerful. This is something that you should read and meditate on before we actually get started on the items. And I'm going to read this. No, I want you to read it. The first secret of personal power.
Okay, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
Okay, that is an aphorism. What do they call that? An aphorism? Can't think of the word right now. But this is from the Bible, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It's an allegory. It's not to be taken literally. But if you think about that, you spend a lot of time thinking about that, you come to a conclusion. It's pretty heavy, which is actually scary, because it's hard to believe. But it's there. But I don't tell anybody what it is. You have to discover it. Okay, then you have another allegory. This one is not so much an allegory, it's more of a maxim by Don Miguel Ruiz. I actually took it from Facebook. Somebody put it in there. And I thought it's exactly the right thing for this course. Read it.
Impeccability of the Word can lead you to personal freedom, to huge success and abundance. It can take away all fear and transform it into joy and love. You can attain the kingdom of heaven from this one agreement. Be impeccable with your word.
This is fantastic. What he's saying is, observe the perfection of words. And I found out this is an element, a very aberrating element in our lives. We were brought up, little kids, picking up the language by ear. We never really thought of the words. Here's a discovery I made recently. I thought I was beginning to get Alzheimer's because I couldn't think of certain words. I still have a little problem with that, but it's not disease. This is another thing they call disease and give you drugs for it. Imagine that? No. If you get along in age, as I am, and you begin to forget some words, that's an excellent indication that you are beginning to attain total self-consciousness, because you've been unconscious all your life, and that's what most people are that way. It's hard to see, but it is a fact. So, I was brought up with the word opportunity, and I've used it in the proper context. But what is the definition of opportunity? When you get into the exact definition of a word and are able to explain that definition with your own words, then you become conscious of that word which you were unconscious of. You picked it up by rote. So, if you're past, let's say, 65 years old, and sometimes you have difficult thinking of words, then force yourself to think of that particular word. A cup. All my life I had a cup. Now what is a cup? A cup is a vessel with space inside that you put something inside, mainly something to drink, or you can put your thumbtacks in there. That's the example. So, this is what he means. The second thing that he means is impeccability, the exactness of the word, the precision of speech, including the articulation, which I call consonant dams, we're going to have very soon. When you are able to observe what I'm talking about right now, when you speak, they will listen. People will listen. Most people talk, well, I don't know, it's just goes on, but there's no psychic energy behind those words. And when we learn in this course about consonant dams, then you really learn to put that energy, which is the life force behind those words. So you accomplish things that other people can't accomplish. Really, really amazing. So you need to think about that a little bit. I don't want to take any more time because you're able to read at home.
Okay.
Okay. So shortly you will be introduced to consonant dams or sound dams, which is like actually articulation. The secret lies here. Words are crystallized thought. A word is a thought, which is now crystallized into sound. And sound is a physical vibration. So you see how important knowing what the words mean, how important it is to know how to pronounce them, how to use this articulation, these consonant dams. Now I'm going to give you an example of a consonant dam. But before that, I will read this. When any sound that is sent forth to the mouth muscles and vocal cords by the act of the will is allowed to run out or spin itself without resistance. In other words, without the resistance of a stop or consonant dam, the result is a loss of the entire flow of their nerve energy or loss of articulation. Now this is a little bit difficult to comprehend, but spend a few minutes thinking about this. But I'll give you the example right now. Vowel. Keep going. I mean, you can go into infinity. The energy spent itself. Now I go. I put a vowel there. It stopped its sound. It has power. It wakes the listener immediately.
So you start off with a vowel and you end with
a consonant. That's just an example. For old words are that way. Some are vowels. If I say, for example, im, I just close it with the vowel M, with a consonant M. Im. So, it's too difficult to explain, but you get the idea. So, when you realize this in your mind, there is a force that comes to your speech. And that's what 50% of this course is all about. Using the voice as that power. Alright? So you're going to read that this week and think about it quite a bit. The damming is what causes up the resistance. And that's what magnetism is in the voice. Intention, will, and this vitality are what will turn you on into a dynamo. And you must experience this to know. Okay, so I think we should read the next part. In evolution, yeah, you read that.
Okay, in evolution we see that the mineral kingdom has atomic force only. In the vegetable kingdom we see that it has what I call basic consciousness.
Yeah, that's the plant world. Okay, it reacts only.
In the animal kingdom there is what Dr. Richard Maurice, how do you say that?
Buch
calls simple consciousness. The new consciousness that is overtaking a few humans more and more on the path of hidden knowledge. We are now headed for the reception of cosmic consciousness.
So all these courses are extremely important because everything old is falling apart. And unless we take responsibility, then it takes a long time to build up again. So we need to take responsibility. We're coming to the end of a cycle. We're coming to the end of self-consciousness, which is a good thing, but we're coming to the end of it. We need something more, cosmic consciousness, not through science. You know, science is great, wonderful, but everything that science discovers is mainly for the destruction of man. It's not for the benefit of man. Few things are for the benefit of man, but not so much. Okay. All right, then the three important questions: who am I? What am I doing on this planet? Where am I going? Now, I see that you've attempted at answering them, and so let's do you mind reading them, or are they too personal? Okay.
So, who am I? I am a spiritual being having a human experience.
Very good. Okay.
What am I doing on this planet? I am on this planet to learn those experiences I need to learn in order to advance to the next level.
Very good.
Where am I going? I am going back to the Spirit in order to understand what it is I need to know and how I am to be free from all these lies and confusion.
Very good. Now, because I'm saying very good, I don't evaluate these answers.
Right.
Your answer is your answer.
Right.
But when you finish the course, you come back and read those answers and see if it's okay.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's all about. Okay, getting started on the course. And the first thing you have to do is read in the textbook from page 3 through page 63. That should be read first.
Okay.
Okay?